The rope tightened, the crowd sent up a wild cheer, and a man dangled in the wind, his body convulsing, his face darkening to purple. But the corpse had a terrible secret. It was innocent. Nebraska, 1887. This was a hard land inhabited by tough people. One of the inhabitants was Jack Marion, a rootless farmhand who stood accused of butchering his travelling companion, John Cameron. Witnesses swore they'd seen blood on Jack's hands, and they also said a body had been found, mutilated and abandoned in the brush. The stakes were high. If found guilty, Jack would swing. If innocent, no one cared. But secretly, the townspeople wanted him to hang. The evidence was nothing more than smoke and whispers. No corpse was ever shown in court, and there were only fragments of alleged proof, including a bloody knife and shreds of clothing. But the jury didn't care because it was easier to condemn a drifter like Marion than to ask difficult questions. And so the rope was prepared. Each day Jack sat in his cell, claiming innocence. Each night the noose waited outside. On the morning of March 25th, 1887, the verdict became flesh. Jack Marion was marched to the gallows. The preacher muttered his prayers. The sheriff pulled the hood over Marion's head. The trap snapped open, and the crowd roared its approval as the man jerked and twisted, his life driven from him in choking spasms. Justice, they said, had been done. The end. Not quite. Time rolled on, and the memory of Jack lived on only as a footnote in county records. The lawmen congratulated themselves. The hanging was another one of their great successes. Then, 3 years later, the impossible. John Cameron, the supposed victim, walked into town, alive. Not a ghost or a trick. He was flesh and blood. It turns out he had simply parted ways with Jack Marion and wandered westward. The man Jack Marion was accused of murdering had never been murdered. The hanging had been an execution with no crime.